guys, and welcome to another random horror review. This is my third episode now. I feel like I've been putting out content pretty quickly, which I've been happy with. I've got the bug in me at the moment, the YouTube bug. Since this channel's only just gone up and I've started a new series, so I feel like I've got the energy to do it. Also the time, because I'm not working at the moment because of the pandemic and COVID, so I'm stuck at home. And I've got time on my hands and I'm enjoying doing it, as I said. So, episode 3, and let's get it straight underway. Last night my brother wanted to watch a movie, which is rare. He never wants to watch movies, especially with me. But he went and picked this one, which is a movie that I've seen once before. Haven't seen it since my first time watching it. But I was happy he picked it out because it was one that I wanted to revisit. And that is 2016's 10 Cloverfield Lane. We'll quickly get into the plot. So basically we have our main lead character played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who is, she's it's against the point, but she's had a fight with her boyfriend and she's left the house. And while she's leaving, she has a car accident and wakes up in this bunker. The bunker is owned by John Goodman's character. He's sort of the antagonist villain character in our story, and he's basically telling her that they can't leave the bunker for X amount of time because something's gone wrong up on the surface. And basically the movie is her dealing with John Goodman's character. We have another character in there played by he's not listed here on the back, I know his name, John Gallagher Jr. That's right, he's in a lot of movies too. It's those three characters, and the movie is just basically those three dealing with each other. There's elements of mistrust, and then bonding, and then just really psychological dealings with the three of them. So, I remember when this movie came out, I just want to get this out of the way quickly. From 2016, I remember, I'm not sure if it was the same globally, but here in Australia it came out early February, and there was no mention of this movie whatsoever coming out. There was no trailers that played, there was no hype for it, whatever, and just one day it was in cinemas. I think it was like one of the, it was such a sneaky movie to come out, but I remember a lot of people loved it, so this is one I was excited to revisit. Now quickly, I just wanted to get this point out of the way. One of the main focuses in this movie is the ending. The whole build-up of this movie is trying to figure out if he's lying or if he's telling the truth, what is actually going up on the surface. Now, the point that I want to get to is, because I've seen this movie before, I feel like the element of that surprise and the reveal is taken back a bit. So, it was hard for me to go into this knowing what happens in the end of the movie and what the reveal is, because I remember that made the movie the first time around. So going back and revisiting this movie for the second time, I was a bit worried that was going to take my rating down a bit, or points off the movie, and I was trying to not let it, because that's not the movie's fault. You got to go off what you get. And luckily, even with that aside, knowing what the twist was and knowing the reveal, I still really enjoyed this movie. Let's just put the reveal and twist at the end aside for the second, because the strongest element of this movie is how our three lead actors, they're pretty much the only actors in this movie. I think there's one other character and they're there for like a couple of seconds. But the main focus of this movie is how these three characters bounce off each other and deal with their situation in this bunker. It is so good. It really is just getting into the minds of these characters, especially these two. John Goodman, he's the best in everything, but when he plays a villainous character or a antagonist, it's so captivating. He's so creepy in this movie, but he's also got this likable quality to him. And as I said, if you don't know the ending of the movie, the whole time you're watching him, and he's making good points and he's got good cases of why they can't go up above, and you're like, okay, maybe I'm believing him. And then he just snaps and he does something completely uncalled for. But that's just what makes him such an engaging character. You really don't know what's going on with him. You don't know if he's mentally stable or not. And yeah, as I said, it's also the way that the other characters deal with him. As I said, you got Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character, you got John Gallagher Jr.'s, and just these three interacting with each other is what really makes this movie so strong. Now, quite obviously, this is a mostly one location film. Pretty much all takes place in the bunker. But that being said, it does get a little slow at parts, but for what it is, they really do make the most of it. Once again, I know I keep saying it, but it all goes back to the character interactions. You could have these slow, boring scenes, but they're never really there because these characters are always constantly talking to each other. There's always little seeds dropped throughout the movie where you go, maybe this guy's lying, maybe this guy's telling the truth, maybe, so and so got tricked. There's plenty of them sprinkled around, so even though you're stuck in one place throughout this whole movie, the plot doesn't slow down too much. It always keeps moving, and that's something quite impressive. The movie doesn't have too long of runtime, 99 minutes, an hour 40, but yet still it goes by pretty quick, and that's a credit to the writing and the dialogue, and as I said, how these characters are written. So hats off to that effort. Not sure how much I want to get into spoilers here with the ending. The movie is, as I said, 2016, so that's 6 years ago now. It's still sort of new. I presume most people have seen it, but still I'll try to, dodge any spoilers or whatever. But as I said, with the ending, it is still a good reveal. As I said, I was worried that with this revisit, just knowing what happens at the end, because that was such a high the first time watching it, I thought this time around it might take something away from the movie, but it really didn't. Because as I said, I'm sort of repeating myself here, but the characters and their interactions, it builds it up. It takes what I was expecting the reveal to go from here to here, but the characters, the way they interact with each other and talk to each other, it really just builds it up again all the way to the ending. I know what's going to happen, but it still makes it so much more exciting. And yeah, that's once again a credit to the writing and the actors and the dialogue, the script, and how it's written. So I feel like this one today is a short, sharp review, only because I've repeated myself a lot, but I also didn't want to get too much into the plot for this one, because I feel like this one, the less you know, the better. It's sort of one where you want to go in on a blank slate and just see what happens. So I'll get right into the rating for this movie. 2016's 10 Cloverfield Lane. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. It's really pretty solid, and it holds up for a movie that, as I said, I was worried to revisit. Yeah, and I like this one more than the original Cloverfield, the found footage movie. From the top of them, just going off from what I remember, they don't really tie too much into each other, which I guess doesn't really matter, but I like this one more than Cloverfield. I've got Cloverfield Paradox in my collection somewhere, I just haven't watched it yet. So, yeah, I don't have any thoughts on that, but this one is definitely one that I recommend if you're looking for more of a psychological horror. It's even more of a thriller, really. This is definitely one I recommend, but yeah, just wanted to thank you guys again for joining me in this series. I'm really enjoying doing it. Expect a lot more content coming since, as I said, at the moment I've got the bug. I'm really enjoying doing these videos. We'll see how long that lasts, but hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want, and I'll see you guys for the next video. Peace.